So playing it, I was like, every time she has a win, that she becomes a little bit more old Emma.
I'm Russ Milheim from The Direct. Thank you guys so much for talking to me about the show. I absolutely love the show. I fell in love very quickly in the first season, and season 2, I'm still way on board, and I absolutely love the whole thing. So.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching.
Of course. Now, Lizzie, I want to start with you.
Okay.
Emma is both heavily driven, but also, trying to keep it together at every moment throughout the season as she's trying to find purposes to stay afloat. Yeah. Can you talk about balancing those things through your performance throughout the season?
Yeah, it was really interesting. God, that's such a good question. It was really interesting this season because we meet Emma in a very different place. She's not the happy-go-lucky girl we meet, and she's has a lot of grief, a lot of anger. So I kind of wanted to play this idea that her sparkle slowly starts to come back throughout the season, and her softness is her strength. So playing it, I was like, every time she has a win, that she becomes a little bit more old Emma. So even in episode 3, her wardrobe even changes. Like, she goes back to her little bit more curls and more of vibrant clothing rather than the punk rock. So yeah, integration is messy, and I kind of wanted to play with this idea that she is mature but also still has this lovable energy that she has underneath all the grief.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now, Maddie and Asa, you guys, Kate and Sam are in need of some heavy redemption after everything that went down in season 1. Can you tease how season 2 might offer that, and also just why you guys think both of your characters deserve that?
That's a nice question. Yeah, I think that kind of going off of what Lizzie said, where you meet these characters this time around is at such a different point in their journey. As you're skipping through time to find them really in the middle of having dealt with the decisions that they made. So, as you watch their journeys unfold, I think that you see them have to confront what they've done and how that's impacted the people that they care about. What do you think about the redemption of these people?
I think that we were just sort of talking about this when the cameras weren't rolling, but I think that, or maybe they were. I was a little confused about that for a second there. I think this is what we have to do as actors. We have to sort of, not judge our characters and be able to justify why they do the things that they do. And I think it's really interesting that our characters both know what it's like to be, imprisoned in a way, and he was in the woods, Sam was in the woods, and Kate was locked in her room, not able to socialize and meet people and be a person, and they both were feeling the betrayal of not being cared for or loved by the people who were supposed to look after them, and I think that it plays a huge role in the decisions that they make. They don't really know the world in the way that a lot of people do, and they want to be accepted, and people do whatever they can to be accepted. As human beings, we're supposed to be in our little tribes and stuff. That's how it all began, and it's really hard to be isolated, and people do whatever they can do to be accepted, and that often results in decisions that are not the best sometimes. Yeah.
Last question for all three of you guys. This season really dives into some of the messed up mindsets and patterns that your characters kind of get into when they use their various power sets. For each of you, can you just talk about how that relates to your character in season 2 and just getting to dive deeper into that with this sophomore season?
Interesting. I think one thing that's really in line with what this season is kind of really all about, which is meeting these characters a little further along in their journey, is that I think we each have a lot more autonomy over what it is that we're doing and over our powers in a way, and how that kind of is mirrored in what the message of the story is. So I think that there's a lot more intentionality behind what it means, for Sam to have a manic puppet episode, or for Emma to grow or shrink, or for Kate to use her powers to make people do what she wants. It's there feels to be a lot more reverence behind those things, which is interesting because the show really is just about growth, and that's interesting to watch.
It really is about growth.
I feel like I've got a little bit of a different experience with this. My powers get a little affected in this season, and having to adjust to a huge physical change and internal change was something new for me as an actor and for Kate as a character, and yeah, that was really interesting to get to experience and how that affects just truly everything and the way she thinks about herself and the way she carries herself in the world. And yeah.
Yeah, like kind of going off what Maddie said, like, I mean, at least for Emma, Andre really was the first person to ever believe in her, right? So with Andre's passing, like, she wants to prove that to herself and to show that, like, he was right. And I think all that pressure and trying to be a hero and also dealing with an ED and all these things, it's just like, it's a really complex season and for all the characters. I don't want to spoil too much, but like, I think this season you really dive deep into each of the characters' psyche, but also incorporates an amazing mystery that, yeah. I may be rambling, but yeah.